The power of the Shi was broken, and Xianxia broke free from the invisible shackles in an instant. Poured Xianxia into his purple shield and threw it forward. The shield burst immediately and turned into a sandstorm. The wind and sand raged up, covering the sky and the ground, and immediately wrapped the pitch-black giant python transformed from the opponent's one-handed axe artifact. Vaguely, a giant python's hissing sound came from inside. The giant python's huge figure rushed from left to right, but it is not that simple to get out of the trap. After all, the purple shield itself is better than the one-handed axe, and the sandstorm power contained in it is the main defense. It is natural to trap the dark python. The artifact will not fight on its own. The entanglement between the purple shield and the one-handed axe is a battle between Xianxia and the old man named Du Divine Consciousness. The competition is based on the strength of the artifact. The face of the old man surnamed Du changed drastically. Because of this fight, he suddenly discovered that Xianxia not only possessed the foundation that was not inferior to his own, but also the strength of his divine consciousness is incredibly powerful and incredible, far surpassing the cultivators of the same level. "Warrior Master!" the old man surnamed Du exclaimed. He didn't believe that a boy with no sect could have such a powerful strength, let alone that their most elite saint king to disciple in 10,000 Beast Mountain did not have such strength. Even the Battle Sky Union and Thunder Typhoon sect is impossible to cultivate them to this extent. On Shadowed Star, there is only one place that can cultivate such a heaven-defying cultivator, and that is Star Emperor Mountain. Is this kid from Star Emperor Mountain? Recalling all kinds of information about Xianxia, the old man's heart was beating hard. If not, how can he have so many layers and endless means to keep himself be restrained? That's a lot of nonsense. Xianxia didn't mean to answer him. He had been in a passive defense situation just now. It was not that he was not strong enough, but it is the first time he fight against a cultivator of this level, even if he took advantage of the time and place. He didn't dare to be careless, so he wanted to try the opponent's strength. Now that the result has come out, it is natural to counterattack. The voice fell. A long sword tumbling from demon flame has appeared in his hand. That long sword was completely condensed from the saint sheet, and it was pitch black and boundless, as if it could swallow all the surrounding light. Then the long sword was held high and strike forward fiercely. A shocking sword light with a length of 10 feet. As if breaking through the sky, attacked the old man. Feeling the lethality contained in that sword light, the old man surnamed Du gave a strange cry and hurriedly walked away to the side. He has not yet established his foothold. Another sword light swept over, as if the other party didn't care about his own saint chi consumption. If the old man Du was attacked by this sword glow, it is inevitable that he would be dead. So while gnashing his teeth, he took out a small square shield from his space ring, sprayed a mouthful blood on it. The shield spun in an instant, and as it spun, a phantom like a rune of a very strong shield emerged from it. It was golden and stood in front of him. Every cultivator has at least one defensive artifact, and the old man surnamed Du is no exception. After all, some attacks are really inconvenient to resist. This square shield is his defensive artifact. Although it is only a void grade low rank, it is also the pinnacle of the void grade artifact refining expert of 10,000 Beast Mountain, and the old man surnamed Du is reluctant to use it, as he regarded it as his treasure. But now, it has to be taken out. Boom. There was a loud noise, and the pitch-black sword light that was more than 10 feet long was centered on the shield's surface, and the rune-like shadow of the shield shook, but it still guarded the front. The old man surnamed Du was shocked and took a few steps back, but his expression was extremely happy, because the sword light was completely resisted by his own artifact, and he was very satisfied with the firmness of his own artifact. But the next moment, his joy stiffened on his face, and his eyes became round. He saw the same sword beams in front of him, flying over one after another. Each one was an astonishing 10 feet long, each one was pitch black like ink, and each one was tumbling with hot black fire, almost occupied half of the sky. The old man surnamed Du had a cold heart. Is this kid sick? How can a cultivator squander Saint Chi like this when fighting? Is he not afraid of exhausting his Saint Chi? No matter what level of cultivator, he will carefully calculate his own strength when fighting. After all, no one can guarantee whether this battle will be a drawn-out battle. If the battle lasts for a long time, and Saint Chi is exhausted, isn't it the same as getting killed? Such is Xianxia's reckless offensive fighting method. Although the old man with the surname Du did not say he had never seen it, there were few, and the few times he saw it were all because the enemy knew he had no hope of surviving. The desperate struggle that tried to drag himself back, but unfortunately no one succeeded in the end, and all were killed by himself. This kid looks like he's going to fight for his own life. Is it a lunatic? All sorts of distracting thoughts flashed in his mind. The old man surnamed Du just received a blow, and his figure was shocked. At this moment, there is no time to think about other things. He can only desperately pour his own Saint Chi into the small shield in his hand, praying that it can help himself hold the line of defense. The golden shield phantom was radiant and dazzling. The next moment, the rumbling sound of the collision came out, and the body of the old man named Du continued to retreat under vigorous pushing one after another. The sword beams bombarded the shield surface, constantly dissipating and breaking, but then came forward and backward, endlessly. Click. The crisp sound made the old man surnamed Du pale instantly. He fixed his eyes and found that the golden shield phantom in front of him had cracked a gap. This small gap quickly spread to the surroundings. In the blink of an eye, a scene like a crisscrossed spider web appeared. No matter how strong the defense is, it can't stop the endless attack. Even the guarding formation of Dragon Cave Mountain can't escape this iron law. Let alone avoid grade low-rank defensive artifact. Not good. The old man surnamed Du exclaimed in his heart, hurriedly tossed the shield in his hand forward, and at the same time quickly drew away to the side. At the critical moment, he can only abandon his precious little shield, which does not have the special power contained in Xianxia's purple shield. With a bang, without his Saint Chi, the small shield is just a dead thing. No matter how high the grade is, it was swept up by Xianxia's sword lights, and it was directly beaten to pieces, and the fragments were instantly burned by the demon flame. Turned into ashes, but this moment of blocking finally allowed the old man named Du to escape 30 feet away. Looking at the place where he stood coldly, Xianxia held his left hand blankly, and while Saint Chi rolled, a dark spear had already taken shape. Go. Xianxia said in a low voice. The dark spear trembled slightly, and suddenly disappeared from the spot. When it reappears, it has reached the top of the old man named Du, and pierced him diagonally. The Heaven's Punisher Spear in the 9 Heavens Divine Skills. Xianxia has now used it thoroughly, and its power is quite extraordinary. The old man surnamed Du has not recovered from the thrill just now, and now he is in danger again. His heart is filled with anger, his hands are raised flatly, and a lot of Saint Chi visible to the naked eye which turned into light barrier formed on top of his head, and blocked the critical strike of the Heaven's Punisher Spear. But this was not over yet. The energy in the void surged, and a huge palm suddenly appeared. When the palm patted him, the old man named Du eyelids jumped. The palm prints covered the sky and the earth, and seemed to close all his retreats, and he couldn't help but feel a sense of despair. Cover the heavens hand. One hand covers the heavens. With a bang, the palm print was photographed fiercely, and the ground shook violently. There was a mark on the ground covering an area of several tens of meters. If you look down from the sky, you can see that it is a palm print. However, Xianxia frowned, turned his head and looked not far away. Over there, didn't know when, but the old man surnamed Du was standing there. His face turned pale, he was coughing softly, and his whole body was extremely unstable. Xianxia showed a surprised look. He didn't know what kind of secret technique the other party used, and he was able to escape from his own layers of methods. It seems that the second-order void return stage cultivator cannot be underestimated. Boy, do you really want to fight the old man and destroy indiscriminately? The old man named Du looked at Xianxia with bitter but fearful eyes, and asked coldly. At this moment, he didn't dare to underestimate Xianxia anymore. Even without the suppression of the formation here, he couldn't kill Xianxia by himself. Maybe the other party could fight him. But now being suppressed by the strange formations here, he can't play 70% of his strength, and he is not an opponent at all. Except for the first few attacks, he has been evading in defense for the rest of the time, in embarrassment. Especially in the scene just now, the old man surnamed Du had a cold sweat when he thought of it. If he hadn't taken a decisive action and escaped with a powerful secret technique, he would have been hit hard at this moment. Being hit hard in this place, what fate awaits him can be guessed without even thinking about it. But that secret technique was not something that can be used casually. After this battle, whether it was victory or defeat, several years of recuperation will be inevitable. The old man surnamed Du has already retreated, and the treasures are moved, so he must have his life to enjoy it. As for how to calm the anger of the elder Feng, it is not something he needs to consider now. If he stays, he is afraid that he will really fall here. To destroy indiscriminately? After hearing his words, Xianxia showed a playful look on his face, disdainfully said, "It's up to you." The ridicule and mockery in the words are obvious. If the time is changed, the old man with the surname Du will definitely not let it go. He has never been laughed at by the Saint King realm cultivators, but at this moment, you think the old man is already a fish on the chopping board? Boy, the old man admits that you are good, but the old man is not so easy to kill. If you can let it go, let the old man leave, and the old man will never come to Dragon Cave Mountain in the future. How is it? Do you think you are still qualified to negotiate terms with me? Xianxia grinned and said coldly, "I will treat you as fish on the chopping board, so what?" To be continued.